Hey, what's up, Void Jumpers? Happy to be here with you. It's Wednesday, my favorite Wednesday of the week, despite how fucking whack this one's been. But whatever, it's Void Jumpers time, so that's where my head's at. I'll let Trin talk about the important stuff later. We're gonna be doing a actual play tabletop RPG stream here today on Twitch, and we're excited about it. We'll be using this Monster of the Week. It's the system that we adore and we've bastardized and fit into our purposes. It's by Michael Sands, and I highly suggest that you check it out. Oh, before I give you over to the team, I did want to give a special shout out to Merc Worky today because before preparing and finalizing this episode, I reached out to her so she could help me make sure I didn't forget any important stuff. So thank you, Merc, for always being on top of shit, even when we're not. Okay, let's bring in the team. What's up? Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
I guess we'll just kick this straight over to Trin for the Democracy Corner. Just get the elephant out of the room. Trin.
Yes, please get the elephant out of the room. The elephant.
Hey!
Yay, puns. Well, when this morning started, I was just going to talk about what happened in Georgia and how ballot curing is a thing that only happens until Friday, and that is still important. If you can get involved with ballot curing in Georgia, I highly recommend it, especially since Georgians only have until Friday to fix any ballots that might be rejected. But I think, like many of you, I've been basically glued to my screens today, watching in horror. For me, there has not been a lot of surprise. But holy shit, white supremacy is a fucking drug. And there's so much more that we need to do to make sure that things in this country can function, and that we do more to undo the sins of our past and to actually deal with them. And I know, at least for myself, there was a lot of today feeling helpless and like there's not much that I can do.
Please tag Rex.
Thank you, Thing.
Thanks, Thing.
Yeah. So where I was going with that is saying it's okay if you're feeling that way. We're in a really weird time in our country's history, and just because the insurrections that happened today were unsuccessful, and I believe will continue to be unsuccessful, doesn't mean they aren't incredibly dangerous and super scary. And I am not of the opinion that we should be finding ways to reconcile people, particularly those elected officials who are knowingly stoking these fires. And so that's why I'm supporting Ilhan Omar's. She is drawing up articles of impeachment. And Cori Bush, a representative from Missouri, is also drawing up, I forgot what the actual technical term for it is, but it's basically she's drawing up a resolution to not seat those members of the GOP who have questioned the Electoral College count. And I support both of those actions. So what I'm encouraging all of you to do tonight, and which I will do tomorrow, you can do it tomorrow too, that's fine, is to look up your local representatives and call them, email them. Calling is the most effective, but email is great too. And let them know that you support those efforts, because I don't think we are going to fix the problems of this country just by holding hands and singing Kumbaya. Like, there need to be consequences. So I'm going to drop in the chat where you can find your local representatives, and that's what I encourage you to do. And I see a bunch of my messages flying back and forth in our little internal chat, and I don't know what they're about because I don't have a way to check our internal chat. So my apologies if things are wacky right now because of me. Love you guys.
Thank you, Trin. Well said. Our internal chat was about echoes.
Well, let me know if I can do anything to fix it.
I have no idea. Okay, I think that's all of the non-game stuff. So we're gonna let the recap roll, and then we're gonna get into Monster of the Week.
Mr. Yeti.
Yeah.
Hello. I've been deputized by Slokta. Whoa, apparently... Oh, this is disgusting. She said you really rocked her world.
If it's cool, I could swing by tonight.
Yeah, just
I'll
do
bring
doc.
some gingerbread people.
Okay, Slokta's into some really weird kink. And if I don't get out of here, I'm gonna be stuck role-playing with it, so we need to make this happen before tonight.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, stakes seemed already very high. This definitely piques my curiosity. See like a little gingerbread person like jump up going like bing bong bing bong bing bong bing bong. I'm gonna have the ginger people that have positioned themselves inside of snowmen. Two of them just walk up, one in front of each window of the tavern, so that for someone to look outside from the tavern, you have two.
Does he have nards that we can punch him in?
Yeah. Just regular sized evil nards.
Told me I would open the door that Kipio closed.
Excellent. You will also push tag through it. Welcome, fuckers, to Void Jumpers. First order of game business. Anybody level up last time?
Oh, I did, but I forgot to look at what I could get for it.
Okay. Would you like
It
to?
sounds like I'm
now?
still really echoey.
A little bit, yes. For the cleric, you can turn your shield into a boomerang, make it ricochet around, up your healing, up your support, take one spell from the wizard spell list, or get a repel blight spell.
Well, I feel like I've already been using my shield as a boomerang, so maybe we should just say that's the one that I actually have now.
Okay.
Yourself out of an upgrade. Level up, girl.
Well, it feels unfair.
That's my fault.
That's his fault for rolling in here. Fucking spring break, no parents, no rules, eating cake for breakfast and shooting from the hip.
Now I want cake.
Yeah, me too. Coffee cake.
In that case, maybe I'll take a spell, but I'll have to look at what my options are. So
Okay.
move on to someone else.
Okay. Anybody else level up?
No, I rolled too well.
I did. I leveled
I'm
up and I already took my stuff.
Okay. You got raised dead, did you not?
Correct.
You wouldn't
Okay.
happen to have something sneaky planned for that raised dead, would you?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. You see a light in your eyes.
Okay.
That's how I look when I see you, Connor.
Aww.
Rex is still down 1 total HP from our sucker sneakers. We also have presents that have been bought for you in advance, but that is in my notes when they will show up, so I did not forget, but they are planned for later. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can't find my notes, so I don't remember what presents I have right now. I'm very sorry for those who bought me presents.
Okay. So you have recently defeated Slokta's first form. We will be picking back up in the Winter Wonderland, and I will catch you up with what is happening to her. Does anybody who delivered the last blow to Slokta? Nobody does? I don't quite remember. It was like
the cookie that was poisoned?
crazy things.
Was it the snow animals?
Oh yeah, it might have been. It might have been me.
Okay. So as she flops face down into the snow, you see Slokta's skin split down her back, and like a moth from a cocoon, a mighty form unfolds. Slokta the Insidious rises from the wreckage of her human carcass. She scoops up her staff with one of 4 long arms, the nails of each hand curved like talons. Her skin is ash white and as hard as stone. Her eyes burn black. A long purple tongue unfurls from behind her razor-sharp fangs. Her hair writhes on her scalp, long black curls waving in the air as though underwater. She arches her back and lets loose a cringeworthy laugh. And if you remember, the last thing she said to you before we blacked out last time was, "Let's get nasty." So now you've got Slokta the Insidious, the true form, standing up in the snow before you, 4-armed, skin as hard as snow, long purple tongue, big fangs, big claws, big nasty. We're just going to start at the top of the order as we transition into this extra hard boss fight, and start with our wizard. What would you like to?
So, Sam takes his magic wand and he spins it around, and the whole magic wand shrinks down to about this size. And anybody who's watching sees that his staff has become a microphone. And he says, every holiday year, it becomes more and more important to remember the things that are the most valuable to us. Not the gifts we give each other, but the people whom we give these gifts to. Slokta, we have a great reunion for you right now, so prepare your heartstrings for the happiest time of the year. And I cast Raise Dead on the gingerbread houses.
Okay. Yes. Roll it.
That is a 12.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
When you get a 12 or more on any of your spells, you get a bonus area of effect. So I'm going to just allow this to happen since you rolled a full success, and that's kind of written in. Why don't you tell me, within reason, what happens?
All right. So, if you're looking up at the sky at all, you see some of the stars start to twinkle just a little bit brighter, and the ground starts to shimmer just a little bit as if the reflections from the stars are there. And you can hear a little jingling in the distance, and suddenly the houses all start to rumble and shake, almost the whole village, and they start to collapse as if Sam has cast some nefarious spell on them. But then piece by piece, a piece of wall, a piece of window starts to rise up. You see half of a gingerbread person, then doot, it stacks up, and there's a whole gingerbread person, and then doot, another one. Gumdrop buttons fly up, bloop, bloop. The whole houses start to rearrange like a reverse Voltron, going from giant robot into individual lion bot, but they're all gingerbread people, and they all look around, and one might think that they would prepare for battle or something like that, but instead, they immediately look and see all of the gingerbread people who have surrounded Slokta also lock eyes with the gingerbread people. And one by one, you hear, "Papa! Papa!" or "Grandpapa! Grandpapa!" And then all these fields of gingerbread people go skipping and dancing along like, my boy, and daughter, and grandchild. And you just see these wonderful reunions of gingerbread people all over, and these heart rays just start shooting out. All shooting towards Slokta as their love joins together. Holiday spirit of togetherness towards her evil insect body.
Okay, so you've had your original ranks of gingerbread people surrounding Slokta already. You're in the middle of the town. It's not a lot to ask that all of these gingerbread people are within reach of one another. And you see these Captain Planet purple heart rays emitting from their embraces as they're reunited. But
That
at
sounds
this
like a Care
point,
Bear stare, my friend.
that's what I meant. They're actually bouncing off of Slokta. You know that you are headed in the right direction. She just may be a little bit too powerful right now for this to be completely effective.
Sure.
But they just close in on her. They just close in as they are just in this like Zion-esque swarm. And she just starts trudging through the sea of gingerbread people, smacking them aside. And they're just in sheets, because there's now hundreds of them. And she's just fighting through this swamp. All four of her arms are launching them into the air. She has a staff that she's holding. It's jet black and curled. It looks like it's in a serpentine form, but it's much more insectile. You get the impression that it's something closer to a leech than a serpent. And she's using it like a cricket bat to just swat these fools out of the way. And she's trudging towards you. But as the reunion continues, you can see that these heart beams are bouncing around. The effect will probably be lasting, and if you can prime her for it, you will not have missed your window. It will be something you can call back on. So there is a lot more activity as we move to the cleric. Rex.
Was it my turn? I thought I was the last person to hit her before the wizard did.
Because I don't remember, I'm just going in my usual order.
Great. I love it. I look around at this Care Bear stare, and I too am filled with love and hope and family and overcome by the reuniting of long lost and dead family members with each other. And then I turn and I look at Slokta again and I say, "You don't deserve any love."
Whoa! Rex coming out swinging.
Woo! And so I charge her with my shield.
Okay, roll it.
Oh no. Guys, how bad do we think failing right now would be?
How far are you failing by? Because you did just get that point from Thing before we started.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
My opinion, to take a lesson from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, he got those roller skates for Christmas and kept them in the box and never used them, and he outgrew them. And he said this to the bird lady, and the bird lady was like, "I am shocked that we have a friendship." And I think so. Anyway, you got it, spend it.
All right. That's a 7 then.
Okay.
Thank you, Thing.
What's your damage on that?
Unless it goes up when I level up, I think that's just a 2.
Okay. So here's what's up. It's like this one bad motherfucker. It's just a 2 harm. Okay. You bounce off of Slokta, and in the process, you can tell.
Oh wait, it's a +1 with this shield bash, so it's
okay. Then you are lucky. You almost bounce off of Slokta. You can see that she deflects most of the blow with the staff, but the sheer volume of gingerbread people that are swarming to find each other in the crowd has just completely disabled her from any specific movement. So in an attempt to block you, 1 harm does get through. But you see a smile split her face when she takes damage, and she shivers with excitement as she funnels that pain, and 1 of 3 acid green gems on her staff glows. And then she punches you in the face. And she deals 3 harm, physical only. Oh, sorry. There's commas in this.
Oh no.
That is 3 harm, 1 of which is physical, 2 of which are acid, and you now have blight sickness.
Oh God.
Because as she recoils after following through with a mighty blow, her talons rake across you, and you feel that you have been poisoned.
That's
Bryn.
bad.
I think all the frustration of being stuck as a barbarian and as a vampire and getting sidetracked and getting no help builds up to this, like, that.
Tag Bryn, bust her with the buster and take down that shield.
What's
Oh,
the action? What's the action?
oh, thanks, Rob. It says $25 for Bryn, buster with the buster and take down that shield.
Okay.
Yay! So I think, did I drop out?
No, you're still here.
We're all dropping like flies. I don't know what's going on.
She's trying to just get her thing. She's got time. She just went. She completed a successful turn. She can flex these muscles now. Bryn.
Okay. So I feel in my pockets and I feel these new things in there, and I'm like, I've got this baton and I've got this snow globe. And I look up at Slokta and I throw the baton up and it stays put, and I reach down and I feel my barbarian Brinishness come out, and I'm like, ah! And I launch myself off the baton. I do a flip and I slam dunk the snow globe on Slokta's face.
Okay. We're just going to have you roll a dex check. The item is going to happen. That's the wonderful things about these presents is you're going to hit something with this, and it's probably going to be Slokta. But let's see how cool you look when you do it. Just roll me a dex check.
That'd be a 12.
Okay, yeah, so you did exactly that. And as the snow globe smashes into the side of Slokta's face while she's busy punching Rex, it was a small globe with the figure of an ice skating penguin inside. I think we zoom in and slow motion as it gets close, and the penguin goes, "Ooh!" right as it smashes, and it explodes. A wave of winter erupts from the epicenter of this snow globe, covering the town in 2 more feet of snow, completely burying all of the gingerbread people and bringing it up to about your guys' chest. Slokta is standing taller than all of you, probably by about 3 feet. But even she is now double encumbered by this, and the entire side of her face is frozen solid. She's going to take 2 harm. You can tell that it's not anything strange. She's just hardy. She's just got she's just destroyed her body in this quest for immortality and supremacy. And so she's upped her strength. She's upped her defenses. Her skin looking like it's as hard as stone is probably contributing to her physical defense. She is a necromancer who seems to be okay around magic. So she just is burly. Ain't nothing tricky going on. But she does take damage. And it slows her. So much so that as she swings out to retaliate against Bryn, who lands softly in the snow in front of her, she actually feels her limbs kick over with frost, and she's stopped mid-attack without being able to do anything about it. But you do see the ice melt as she smiles again, and another one of the gems in her staff glows. There's only one left that isn't glowing. Tag.
So sense memory of the stat, the summoner, the bloom summoner's staff on the Bloom planet. the glowing green blight jewels, though a different hue, remind him of that energy on top of the staff. And an idea comes to him, and he quickly looks around and tries to find a tree branch roughly as the staff, hacks it off, and just sheaths it. And then he fires an arrow. It's an arrow aimed at Slakta, but it's fired up, essentially a bomb rather than a bullet, so that he has time to reposition close to her when it lands.
Okay. Roll plus dex.
That is a 10.
Okay. So you are able to shoot that arrow directly at her and have enough time, or sorry, in the arc, but hit your target and reposition next to her. And you broke a tree branch off and you were holding it?
Yeah.
On your back? Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to do as the arrow is going to make contact?
I don't know. I was hoping for another turn to figure it out.
You're welcome to have one.
It's my honest answer. I just feel like I want to do some kind of like, I'm thinking he's a rogue. We're in a bank heist. There should be some sleight of hand here, but I don't really know how to execute it yet. But if you like what I'm putting down and you want to help me pick it up and kind of, we can figure out a way together to get there, I'm interested.
Yeah, okay, so you reposition next to Slakta. It takes you a second because there's 4 feet of snow, but you manage to slide your way there. Just as the arrow strikes her in the neck. And it does 1 harm. How much harm do you deal with your bow?
I deal, in this case, 3.
Okay. So 1 harm does get through. Slakta reaches up and breaks the arrow. And that smile splits her face again as the pain is funneled down, lighting up the last gem in her staff. She then looks down at the arrow stub that's still sticking out of her neck and goes, "Oh, I totally thought that was gonna like absorb into me and do something weird." Crazy. And then taps Tag with her staff. You see all 3 of the gems release their energy into the head of the staff and strike Tag. It's almost like she's just tapping him on the head, and she's going to do one of her ultimates called Soul Suck.
You're not giving me a chance to do the sleight of hand?
Now's your chance. You wanted another turn.
Oh,
Shit's
no.
rolling forward, baby.
All right, we'll take it. My fault. I have to have the concrete idea. I just didn't want to say like he switches the staff without some kind of story behind it. And so I think fair punishment for my slow thinking on my feet will be to run up next to her when she's clearly charging an ultimate and to...
Look, there will be plenty of time.
Sure. I'll just have this branch as I suffer the ultimate.
You also would have had a better chance if she didn't have 2 gems full already. So I'm going to need a magic check from you.
Okay. Oh, that's a bad stat. That is miraculously misread those dice. No, that's a 6.
That's a fail?
That's a fail.
Okay. I didn't know what would happen on a partial success, so I'm lucky here. On a fail, your soul is ripped from your body.
Surprise, surprise.
You are now a ghost. Tag's body falls down into the snow behind him. Your body can still take damage, and your spectral form can still take magical damage. You are still in the initiative order, but you are currently separated from your physical form.
Okay.
Wizard.
Oh, Slakta, you've done messed up. Takes his microphone and stretches it back out into a staff. Starts to spin it and starts the incantation of his next spell. skipping straight to the screaming description of the attack itself. Aurora Borealis! And beautiful northern lights start to appear above, and all that beauty shoots down in a cleansing ray at Slokta to
All right.
do away with her evil.
Roll it.
Beauty upon you! 8.
Okay. What's the... It doesn't have a damage, does it?
It does 3 harm to blighted enemies.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, this is gonna... The harm on this is gonna be doubled. Specifically because of magic interaction rules that I have in mind. It is an anti-blight. So that would bump it up to 6. 4 of which makes it through.
Beauty!
But you can see in the when that happens, something about the air around Slokta changes and seems to release. And a curl of green fog dissipates from around her. And even she's coughing. And, you know, when the blight ray, is gone, she kind of like stumbles out of her own smoke cloud, all 4 arms waving away, kind of unsure of what just happened. And she looks a little fried. You can see that 2 of the gems on her staff have lit up in that time, leaving only the 3rd empty again. But she looks considerably worse for wear. Explosion of the acid green smoke. The snow around you starts to melt at a rapid rate, making movement much easier for all of you. And it's turning the ground into a slushy environment. Cleric. You're on mute.
I did that because the dog was whimpering. So with one hand, I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna pull out a healing potion and I'm gonna glug it while making mean eyes at her. As I reach behind me and pull out my peppermint candy cane.
Okay.
And I'll go.
Why? Why do you do that?
You need sounds to make it more powerful. You need sounds of the sand people to make it more powerful.
That's right.
Of course.
As I just, absolutely her with it.
Yeah. It has 2 magical harm, or 3 if you make a berserking sand people. Got it. Cool. Okay. You can see that this magical weapon passes through the area next to Slokta far easier. 1 harm is still blocked by whatever wards she's placed on herself, but something has obviously been damaged in her defenses from the blight, the cleansing ray. And you smack her, play a little chin music with your candy cane sideways. She takes 2 harm. And then wipes black blood off of her lips and just holds up the staff so you could see the gem. Bink! And she then levels the weapon at you, cleric. It charges up. Let me just make sure I write some rules for myself, and these are strong weapons, so I want to stick with it. Okay. You can see that the staff has now started glowing on the front with its same blight-colored magic, and all 4 of Slokta's arms go to grab hold of it as it starts to lose control, and you can just see dark energy leap off of her and start funneling into the staff. She is preparing what appears to be a very powerful attack. This is what's called a soft move. Set up a hard move. But she is going to need some more time in order to release the blow. Which brings us to Bryn.
Well, seeing Rex in trouble and Tag's soul ripped from him.
His body, now that the snow has melted, is just kind of laying crumpled in the slush.
I look at Horace. I'm just like, and actually my staff, and the only thing I can think to do is pull it out and summon the Elder Scorpion because it's Bloom, and if I can throw Bloom at her, maybe it would combat the blight.
Okay. I believe this is the first time you've tried to summon anything with the sword, right?
Yeah.
All right. I expect
we didn't practice that one. Glad we're doing it for the first time in the middle of
I expected you to be doing certain shit, all of you, like way at the beginning of this arc, but there was some toys you guys never played with. Bryn, you hold the sword out and open yourself up to the summon, and you are transported for just a spell into a place that is full of those little flowers that in the very first episode of this show you floated into the air made out of water to show your friends. You're in a meadow that's very peaceful and very warm in comparison to the Winter Wonderland, and you can see that the Elder Scorpion is there. And then you're back in the Winter Wonderland. The Elder Scorpion has not been summoned to help you. Instead, your Buster Sword is now a glowing forest green lightsaber, the same size, and is completely comprised of Bloom energy. You have burned your Elder Scorpion summon for the arc. Way to go, keeping it to the last one, but you now have a Bloom lightsaber at your disposal. What would you like to do?
I would like to cut off the arm that's holding the staff.
Okay. She's got on it, but you can see that there is the one that is still holding it steady. Like the one original holder. Like everything else is just kind of piled on. But yeah, you can take a blow at it. Roll it. Kick some ass, I believe.
14.
Holy fuck. Ass has been kicked.
What is it? What is your damage? What is your damage, Bryn? Slocta counts as a large creature. I already said she's like 9 feet tall.
Yeah. The Elder Scorpion or the Buster Sword damage?
I suppose it would be the Elder Scorpion. Whatever the tail laser damage is.
7 harm, ignore armor and magic. Double damage versus water, half damage versus fire. That doesn't really apply.
Wow.
7 damage? Okay.
7.
You smash into Slocta's arm, severing it. You can see another cloud of that fog, that acidy fog, puff off of her. And again, you lose sight of her for just a moment. And as it dissipates, she walks forward, 3 arms still gripping the staff, but there's just black blood. It's not malice. It's just black blood. Kind of the Fight of the Crazy Eights, Kill Bill style, just like spraying out. And she seems to have lost her focus on the ultimate. It is still primed and ready to fire, but with a full attack at that strength, you have delayed it. She now seems to be trying to reharness the energy that is escaping the staff to point it back into this attack. Her arm is laying on the ground and quickly dissolving into what looks like swampland. Your sword, post-attack, returns to its normal form.
That was cool.
You get the impression that her magical armor has now been destroyed. She will still have resistance to physical, and she looks I think she looks worse than I expected her to be at this point in the fight. Tag.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of things that just happened. And Tag is aware of it, but it's kind of moving in slow motion. There's a strange disassociation that happens maybe some people in chat know this, when you are severed from your body in a winter wonderland portal off of a dream in the Blight Planet. And so it's kind of that scene where, you know, he sees Bryn's sword, its thick, broad edge start to grow with those bioluminescent vines. And he sees her come down, and there's just images of this black blood spurting. The scream of Slakta somehow echoed in the distance, but there's still a somewhat like childlike curiosity as he looks down at his body lying on the ground. It's kind of funny. It's at such a crumpled, goofy looking angle. It's just a little like, it just looks like a pathetic little shell. And as these moments are starting to catch up to the time that is being taken, and he sees that this wound wasn't fatal to Slakta, and she's reharnessing the magic, directing that attack back Rex, he just kind of very slowly and simply, I don't know if it's a walk or a float, and I don't even think that Tag knows if he's walking or floating, but he just locomotes himself right in front of her to take the blast.
Okay. You're a ghost. What do you have in mind? I want to give you an opportunity to find.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and then, but I don't want to gloss over the very real consequence of this ultimate, even if he is a ghost. I don't want to hand wave that away. But I think right now Tag looks kind of just like the Tag that we met in season 1, that he doesn't look, he's not in his rogue garments. He doesn't have that dashing mustache and all the other accoutrements of being a rogue. He's just in his simple Parallels tunic. And so Slakta lets the ultimate go, and it just, all that dark energy starts funneling right inside him. And something strange happens. She knows this attack to just blow people off his feet, but somehow instead of pushing, it kind of pulls, and she's sort of almost pulled towards him. And Tag looks at her and he says, yeah, the funny thing about soul ripped from your body is that, and he looks down at the shell on the ground and he says, see, that's not even my body. That's just some kid, and we call him Tag, and I like him. I like that form, but it's not me. It's just a shell. This is me. And I think from that, the center of his chest where all that dark ultimate energy is funneling, it starts to curl outwards, and that ghost form of Tag in the body just starts peeling away, and we see a little bit of black, and we see a little bit of fur, and we see just some embers start to glow, and it pulls back and pulls back and pulls back over his face, and we see this long snout, and it pulls over his head, and we see those long horns, and it has pulled away into Tag's true form of that flaming puppy dog that we met, that hellhound from a couple episodes ago.
You got stats on that thing?
I do. I just dug up our old character sheets.
Does it say what kind of harm or what HP or armor you have?
It does not.
Okay. So what I think is going to happen is the attack she was just going to use was called Life Leech Storm, and it was going to be a big area of effect attack that was going to really fuck everybody up. I think that it returns back into her staff, see, as it ricochets, or not ricochets, but like bounces back into the staff. The staff starts to shatter, almost like Legos coming apart as that energy travels back down the staff. And it actually, in its explosion, blows one of her hands off, and she falls backwards. And all of the energy that had been contained in the staff is now swirling up into the air. Slokta climbs up back to her feet and lifts the wrist that is now a stump into the sky and calls that energy back. And you can actually see her hand regrow and her arm that's missing regrow as well. And you can see that she's gotten a more dense field around her as a small amount of that magical armor has returned. And she looks slightly better. And so in diffusing the attack tag, we didn't roll anything. So I think I'm just going to let it play. You're able to diffuse the attack completely. So this bomb does not drop on the party. But the energy that was going to be expended is returned to Slokta. She's not fully healed, but she's gotten a little bit of juice back. You are, however, standing eye to eye with her now as your monstrous form.
Well, monster is a very harsh word.
For those of us who aren't monsters, it's not. Wizard.
All right. Sam produces a small golf tee and places it in the ground and places a red ball on the golf tee, takes his staff, spins it around, and it becomes a golf club. And he goes, "For your ball." And he's going to go ahead and any gingerbread caddy that might be nearby, helping me adjust for the wind. All right, here we go. Hey, that's an 11.
I was really wanting you guys to like fail a lot more during this.
So it's for a single enemy, it's 4 plus 1 for blighted enemies.
Okay. So it hits, and 4 of that damage is going to get through. It seems like some of it gets caught up on a magical ward. Tell me what it looks like when this fireball hits her.
All right, so at first it seems sort of silly to watch this wizard with a golf club, tee off. And when he swings, at first you think, oh man, he totally sliced that. Like, that's totally not going to hit Slokta. But as soon as the ball starts to arc, it just starts to expand rapidly into this huge, massive fireball. And that upward trajectory just collides. It just continues to expand, and you feel like a whole disc of heat just expand outward in a single planar explosive, and all the heat just rises up. And with any possibility, if she's got hair, I feel like it should be singed, because that's always a nice look after a nice fireball explosion.
Okay. When the smoke and fire clears, you do see that she's standing there grimacing. She no longer has the staff, so there's nowhere for her to channel her pain. But you do see that her hair, which was kind of writhing around as though underwater, is now kind of like an uneven buzz cut if you only have scissors to do a buzz cut, and just kind of undulating on her hair. And she's looking up, and she goes, "Did you just fuck up my hair?" And she puts all 4 hands forward. If Goku was 4-armed and doing Kamehameha, this is what it would look like.
3 arms?
1 grew back after the little monster business.
4 arms, 3 hands?
Both grew back.
Both grew back, okay.
And called, as coined by chat, a bolt of blightning at you.
I hold on my hat.
Which deals 4 harm. And also gives you blight sickness. That's what I thought. I was just double checking. And you also have blight sickness.
Oh.
I think that it hits you square in the chest as you're there celebrating with your gingerbread caddy, and you are thrown backwards, and the gingerbread caddy is dusted into crumbs from the shockwave. And this is kind of the collateral damage. These huge magic attacks and all of this stuff has been happening in the town square, which is now devoid of buildings because they've all been turned into more gingerbread people. But if you recall, Slokta was being swarmed with them. And now as you see that the snow has melted completely after the fireball and the acid fog and all of this stuff, you can see that there's all these gingerbread people trying to claw their way out of the way. And they're starting to get really soggy because the only liquid that they can come into contact with is milk. And so all of this melted snow and water is just starting to make them soggy. It's like when you have a cookie and you dip it in your coffee and you think, I'm going to leave this in here just long enough to get soggy. But then it gets so soggy that it just falls out of your hand into the cup. That's the gingerbread people. And that's what you get for fucking with Slokta.
No!
So as she dusts your caddy and you see these soggy gingerbread people climbing away, it's like the D-Day sequence from Saving Private Ryan. Slokta just lumbers forward towards the beast that is standing in front of her, or the beast that is now tagged. Cleric.
Oh no!
I'm so sad about
The
this.
humanity!
That's gonna haunt me. Their little legs just crumbling off.
Sloughing off, I think.
Right after they had just seen their grandchildren for the first time ever.
Oh.
Yeah, the like old gingerbread people are just laying down and saying, "Walk on me."
That is what's happening.
Yeah, the old gingerbread people are sacrificing themselves so the other gingerbread people can try and get to safety.
I can't do this tonight, y'all.
And I look around and I'm filled with sadness and rage. And then I say, "Ice bears, assemble!" And then I summon my ice bears.
Hit it up. You got one in the bank for this, so use a +1 on top of whatever you're getting already. I think this is just going to be... You tell me what stat you'd like to use. This is a thing you...
We also
I
just
don't
got
know,
a raid.
They do a harm of like 10. That seems reasonable.
Who's the raid?
We got 13 viewers coming in with Solaricity.
Hey, Solaricity, thanks for bringing your friends. We're in the middle of a huge boss fight in our season finale. We've just destroyed a town full of gingerbread people, and we're fighting a 4-armed necromancer.
There could be some survivors. We don't know. We've destroyed the whole town.
My caddy. My caddy.
What stat would you like to use there, Rex, for summoning the predetermined ice bear army that you have on stock?
I would say probably plus magic.
Okay, roll it.
That is an 8.
Okay, cool. What would you like these ice armies to do? Are you trying to deal damage directly to Slokta? Or are you trying to inhibit her in some way?
I think they can do both.
Okay.
But I think mainly what I was thinking about in thinking of ice bears is just thinking of just big giant creatures with like really long claws that are just
Icicle claws.
super powerful. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I this doesn't need to mechanically affect anything, but narratively, as I see these ice bears coming, I'd love to just kneel down as this hulking hell wolf, so that one, like you see those photos of people playing frisbee with their dogs and they sort of use themselves as a launch pad. I just kind of want to have an ice bear run on my back and me to stand up and just whee.
It's actually an ice bear cub that takes advantage of this. And so you just see these ice bears fall on Slokta as one of the cubs bounds off of Tag and flips through the air and smashes into her. And as they are attacking, every blow that that they hit her with, like so they're swiping with the claws, their arm is actually turning back into snow. So they're destroying themselves, but you get the impression that this was all part of the plan anyways. They're just returning to snow. And as they are attacking her, snow is just piling up on top of her. And it's getting colder and colder in the immediate, so that the slush on the ground is starting to ice over. And the gingerbread people are finding their feet and they're starting to clear out. It looks like when Godzilla's just like entering a city, everybody's kind of freaking out and running over their shoulder. The reunion's been broken up and the gingerbread people are now scattering since they have time to do so. But you are going to deal 3 harm through Slakta's magical armor. She ain't looking great, what you can see of her. Most of her, when the bears finish their attacks and the ice dust clears, there's just this like very Calvin and Hobbes-esque snow monster standing there with 4 arms outstretched, and the remnants of like charcoal and a lopsided smile and a carrot that's hanging off where Slakta was. Which brings us to Bryn.
Oh man, I keep thinking about Horace saying that you can't beat her with violence, and I'm very confused by this. Because it seems to be the only thing that's making a difference, but...
He did caution you that you may have to weaken her, and that would end up being violent.
Gotcha. Okay. And she's not technically human, correct? This is like a creature.
Whoa. She was human? I mean, technically, you look exactly like her, and you're a vampire. You're kind of on the way to become her. But she was human at one point, and through this dark experimentation has corrupted herself to the point of looking the way that she does by enhancing her powers using less than lawful good means.
So I can technically bite her to try to steal the rest of her life then?
Yes, you could.
I will use the last of my vampire powers to do that.
Okay.
And hopefully quench this thirst that's been building.
Cool. Roll it.
What am I adding to this? Doesn't matter.
It's just going... Yeah, it's all plus. You got vampire stats.
I got 13.
You got 13? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to be clear. Before we describe what happens to Bryn, we've talked about Slakta's blood as being black, and we've also said that when she dies, she turns into a swamp.
Why I'm hoping this turns out okay.
Just tell us what it tastes like.
What her blood tastes like?
Yeah, I think that you are successful. As she crushes out of the snow, you leap onto her and sink your teeth into her neck. What does it taste like?
The closest thing I can think of is like when you're like cooking a roast and you cook it too long and it starts to turn like dark and like all of the liquid starts turning and then it starts getting this vinegary kind of bitter taste to it and you're like, that's funky as shit. And that's biting into Slakta is like biting into that like bitter, overcooked, unhappy river of pain. Is what it's like.
I believe you have some mechanics for your bite. It does a certain amount of damage and heals you a certain amount, correct?
Bite is 2 harm, life steal, physical.
Okay, so you heal for 2 HP if you needed it. You are able to do what you set out to do. You do bite her, and you do drink her blood. Before you are able to drain too much of it, however, she does grab you by the scruff of the neck and just fling you away, and you flip head over heels, flying through the air and smash into the snow. You take 2 harm, physical. It does not penetrate armor if you have it.
I do.
She now has a hand on her neck tag, and she looks a little woozy, but she just pulls all 4 of her arms up and just flexes at you and says, I didn't get immortal by being afraid of some silly monsters from another dimension, you fool. And she charges you. What do you do, monster?
I want to do a move and a half. We'll call it a major and minor action if you'll allow it.
I probably
First
will.
is just to nod to my homies up on the hill manning the drills that we have set up.
Right. Yes. I totally
Cool.
forgot about that.
It doesn't seem like the most strategically pressing, but I don't want to let it go to waste. And what I'd really like to do now is for us to just come to fucking blows. I just love the image of this giant pseudo-insectoid vampiric necromancer and this flaming hellhound to just be socking each other. So that's the plan. Just like big. We're just pressing triangle the whole time. We're not doing any quick strikes. It's all heavy blows.
Okay, I think I have an idea for how this goes, but why don't you
Great.
just give me a roll to kind of give me some guidance here?
Great. Let me consult this wolf sheet. That's going to be a 13.
Okay. How much harm? Does it say how much harm on your sheet you do? What do you do? Is that a 4 or a 5? Oh my God. Okay. A little overkill. Let's see. So this is what I think happens. Bryn rises from the snow, having just been flung away. This is all in slow motion. I think we're very like Zack Snyder side view long shot right here. We get a quick, just to continue the Zack Snyder idea, a quick Watchmen opening credits moment as we hit Bryn standing from the snow and wiping black blood off of her lips. Sam.
Bob Dylan is definitely playing in the background.
Yes. Sam turns from the dust that's streaming through his fingers of his gingerbread caddy, singing, "No!" Rex, what was the last thing you did? Wait, you're on mute, and I need to know what you said. So if you wouldn't mind taking it from the top.
Ice bears assemble!
Right, of course.
She's just released this army of ice bears, and we see then the wolf, the underworld wolf, look over his shoulder and nod towards the hills in the distance, and then gallop. The whole earth is shaking as this monster gallops towards Slokta, who also starts to run, and she's running on all fours, and it's just these two monsters charging each other, and they just smash into one another and start tearing into each other. Slokta's all four of her hands are covered in these big talons, and then we've got this monstrous like Schwarzenegger armed wolf beast just clawing at her. They're just punching each other, and every time it does, there's like a shockwave that passes the snow, and another blow connects fully, and gingerbread people are flung into the air and running and hitting each other, and it's just going and going and going, and then you feel this rumble. More so than these shockwaves, you can tell that something else is happening. And all of you, except those of you who are entangled in this death dance, look over your shoulder to see that the drillers on the mountainside have released the snow. And an avalanche is coming in from two sides, falling into this valley that the town used to be in before you turned all the buildings into people. And as Tag...
Put them back into people, to be fair.
Tag launches Slokta forward and charges to finish her off. The avalanche closes, eclipsing both of them. You're all standing outside what is the blast zone as they've thrown each other into the wilderness and are now gone from your vision. There is no movement. All is silent as the snow and the fog settles after this avalanche passes. And then Slokta flies out of the snow, smashes into the ground, and slides to a stop. And she is no longer moving. Tag forms out of the avalanche to observe the scene, kind of in that strange, disconnected state. And the king of the gingerbread people climbs up out of some of the rubble and raises his staff and says, "Now, this is our big moment. This is our big moment." And all of these gingerbread people, some of them missing their cookie limbs, hobbling, being carried by their elders, walking, pulling each other forward. They're all coming around, and you are now surrounded by hundreds of gingerbread people as Slokta claws up and closes her fists and says, "You just give me a moment to collect myself, and I'll kick all your asses." We are now, if you'd like to be, out of initiative. How would you like to proceed?
Jesse, this is
Sly...
so...
What? Yes. I was just going to say
very
Sly and Horace have joined. Just go.
I just want you to repeat what Slokta said because you got all fuzzy on my end. I don't know if that was for everybody or not. I just really wanted to hear it.
She said, "If you just give me a minute to collect myself, I'll kick all of your asses."
Okay.
Give her the love. Give her the love.
Sly, Danny DeVito, and Horace have now joined you. They were attempting to help the gingerbread people escape through most of the fight. Once things turned south, Sly actually spins her gun blade and then holsters it, and she says, "Now, I don't know how we should proceed. We did not last half as long as you did, nor did we have an opportunity like you have now. Whatever you do, you will have to make the decision on your own."
Can we get a status check on Slokta?
She is, mechanically speaking, tapped. If you are going to try a non-violent maneuver or any of the things you had in mind, now is your moment.
Tag looks very much to the wizard who has been shepherding the pacifist strategy up to this point.
Sam stretches out a hand to Ghost Tag. Stretches a hand out to whoever's nearby, maybe a gingerbread person.
Yep.
We all start joining hands around Slokta and start swaying back and forth. Slokta, we know you've been naughty this year. But there's only one thing that we can say to you. We forgive you.
No! And you can see black curls of magic peeling away from her. And as it does so, her extra limbs start to fade. Her hard stone skin starts to soften. Her hair grows back, is no longer writhing in the wind. And when this transformation is complete, she's just Slokta, a summoner in the snow. And she looks upset. And she doesn't know what to do. You can see her form continuing to lessen at a slightly slower rate. She's becoming less material, I guess. This form that she'd managed to create with the ritual that she'd done. And she says, "I was so powerful. And everything that made me was taken from you. Your hatred is what drives me. You can't forgive me. I'm not worthy of it."
But that's what's so great about forgiveness. You don't have to earn it. You just deserve it.
Magic is exploding out of it.
I hope it's extraordinarily painful, too. I want this forgiveness to sting like a motherfucker.
You get the impression that it feels like in a full body, emotional and physical way. Like when you get back from spring break and unfortunately you got a huge sunburn and your plan is to not tell anybody, and then you get to school and somebody not even knowing it is just messing with you and they're like 5-star and slap you in the back right on your sunburn. That's what her existence feels like.
What a delightfully and culturally specific reference.
She is, as she is screaming, and you can just see this black magic. You can tell that it is whatever version in Void Jumper's necromancy is. It is a corrupted form of magic. Alice goes about this. This is something that she ruined magic in order to do this. It is just pouring out of her mouth, her eyes, her nose, her ears, everywhere. It's just pouring out of her, and her form is lessening and lessening, and she's becoming more and more transparent. As she does this, the world is starting to shiver around you. It's coming undone. And you can feel the illusory magic that had created this place falling apart. The Winter Wonderland kind of fuzzes in and out, and for a moment you see the village on Blight that you'd been to. The castle on the hill is no longer a castle. It is very much Blight Manor. And then you're back in the Winter Wonderland, and things are just starting to lessen. You can see that you've defeated Slarkta in a way that they had not before. No sacrifice is required of you. Sly steps forward and places a rapidly disintegrating hand on your shoulder. I think this is going to be, I just put your shoulder because I was waiting for a narratively appropriate one. I think this is to Sam, who just kind of facilitated this forgiveness. And she says, "Thank you." And with a gasp, her spirit, after hundreds of years, is freed. You watch as Danny DeVito and Horace disappear into the dust of this place as it is blowing away. Before he goes, Bryn, Horace gives you a wink. This place has not left us completely. It is about to. If any of you would like to take an action in this place before it disappears, I will give you a moment.
This place and everyone in it, though, is in rapid disintegration, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all right.
You sure?
Yeah, I had some gears turning, thinking that there would be a future for this world. But if it is kind of ashing out of existence, I'll save it.
Yeah, the Gingerbread King actually says to you before blowing away into dust, he says, "Hey, man, I really appreciate you guys getting so invested in our culture."
I don't feel as bad about eating your families now.
You just hear this echo that's like, "You should." Okay. There is a roar of magic, and the Winter Wonderland is torn up and away. In the chaos of this, each of you is aware of a release of pressure at your chest. Your amulets, which have aided you on Blight, have dissolved. In the twists and turns of magic, you feel your bodies returning to the... Everybody roll plus magic.
What's
Using
that?
Yeah.
In this transitional state, you will use your regular character stats unaffected by any negatives. So your regular Bryn, regular Sam Puck, regular... yeah.
12.
That's a 10 for me.
Ooh. See, I was looking forward to finally rolling the good magic again, but I'm just hanging out at the old 7 stage.
I think I made you guys pull up some stat sheets that you weren't ready to have. What's up?
I also am going to join tag on the 7.
What's up?
Does anybody know if I have anything banked? Anybody? Mark?
No, let's just say no. That sounds like a GM does not have anything banked.
Okay. You are aware that in this chaos of magic that is dissolving, many things are possible, but you have a hard time nailing any one of them down. When the whirl subsides, you are left standing as your old selves in the temple basement of Blight Manor. Slokta is nowhere to be seen. There is, however, a figure standing before you, obviously dazed, a little confused. What is this place? Summoner KPO asks. You're out of Slokta's dream world. You are now yourselves, and in the temple of, this strange ancient buried temple underneath Blight Manor. Before all of this bullshit with Slokta happened, you chased KPO down here, and he jumped into the pit to escape you. Before you have a chance to answer, we're going to take a 2-minute break. You beat Slokta, motherfuckers!
Yeah! All the love. All the love.
I'm a whiz.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to shut you down, right?
Matt Vansel.
Does it make me magical?
Red card.
Oh, no. No.
So you're out 5 minutes because you said by 5 p.m. Wait, actors are like chili. By 5 p.m. they're shit.
Fair enough. It's a fair cuff.
You in.
The following is a paid advertisement.
You all had the stew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need everybody to make an easy constitution check.
Are you kidding?
You all rolled ones. That's okay. It's just stew. They serve it at the inn all day long. No big deal.
Should be fine. Okay. What? What?
Your entire party died of dysentery.
Gosh, we have builds that should let us survive that, but our dice betray us. I wish there were a way to show these dice what we really thought of them.
Has this ever happened to you? Your dice just hate you. You've tried everything to get them to roll well.
That's right. You can do this. Just let me know what you need. Massage, bubble bath. You could go on a date after this. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Seducing.
Hey, come on, baby. Don't be. We're together. And the mood is right.
Reasoning.
You are a 20-sided die. The odds of rolling a 1 are 1 in 20. Now, the odds of rolling 5 ones in a row are 1 in 3.2 million. Why? Why are you sucking? Stop sucking, please.
Threatening.
Oh, really? You think I won't do it? I've done it before. I've done it before, and I'll do it to you.
And even dark offerings.
To the gods of blood, I offer you this sacrifice.
Then you need Die.Club, the ultimate in dice retribution services. Here's how it works, and some testimonials.
So the best thing about Die.Club is that they fit the punishment to the crime. For example, my rogue walking down a dungeon corridor. I roll a spot check. I roll a 1. I fail to see the gelatinous cube. I walk into it, get dissolved completely. Oh! Damn you, Die!
All I had to do was jump out of a tree. I had max ranks and tumble. I rolled a 1.
For a long time, I was just angry at the dice. I wanted to punish them, myself. But it's too hard. It hurt my hand. I hurt the tools I was trying to use. I even ate one of the die one time.
I had so many ranks in balance. So many ranks in balance. A suspension bridge over a pit of lava. I fail the roll, obviously a 1.
So, I send my die off to die.club. Now my die is sitting in a jello mold in someone's refrigerator in North Carolina. Thanks, die.club.
Take the offending die. Place it and seal it in the provided envelope. Mail it off to die.club.
I put my die in an envelope and sent it off to die.club, and a week later I got its mangled corpse after being put through a wood chipper. Now I have time for my real friends. My Sailor Moon body pillow and I have gotten very close.
It wasn't just the feeling of satisfaction I got knowing that my die had been utterly destroyed. I got back together with my girlfriend. I got the idea to get that bike tire repair kit, and I haven't had a herpes outbreak in 5 months. Who knew how good my life could be thanks to Die.club?
Thanks to Die.club, I don't have to put myself in danger to put my dice in danger.
Everyone likes Die.club.
Thanks, Die.club. You gave me the vengeance I was looking for. I recommend it for everyone. Die.club worked for me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
Go to Die.club today. That's Die.club. Hurry and visit Die.club. There's nothing like the amazing new Die.club. In case you missed it, that's Die.club. Die.club. It's a club where die. Act now and you'll be able to visit Die.club. Nothing beats the original Die.club, the same reliable Die.club your ancestors used. You too can visit Die.club and experience the magic that is Die.club. Die.club. It's your home for dice-related justice. Knock knock. Who's there? It's Die.club. Don't forget about Die.club. That name again is Die.club, spelled Die.club, and available only at Die.club.
I'm probably going to be wearing a colostomy bag the rest of my life.
Oh, now Connor's really quiet on my end. Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back.
Hello.
Okay, you've just defeated Slokta, Form 2. Insidious, aka my favorite character. Okay, you found yourself in the basement of Blight Manor, where you first started this whole zany quest, and you almost got tricked by this necromancer. In front of you is Summoner Capio, the current summoner of the Blight Planet. He looks confused. Last you heard, Slokta had locked him away in a separate memory and was trying to figure out how he had been tapping into a new source of energy on the planet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna look at Rex. Do I look like me? Did I go back to Bryn?
She did not, Rex. She's still Slokta.
Oh, you look a little less evil.
Okay.
But your vampire half still looks very evil.
Oh, great. All right, cool. Stuck like this for the rest of my life. It's awesome.
Tag, you're no longer a ghost.
Oh man.
You did have a pretty cool ghost form.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. That was fun.
Those poor gingerbread people. What a crummy way to die.
Capio looks at you and says, What? I don't really remember his voice. I think it was some kind of old Irishman. What are you doing down here in my secret lair?
Here to stop you, you big jerk.
Yeah.
What's your beef?
What's our beef, man? You think we don't know anything? You think we don't know what's happening here, sir? This is shenanigans up the wazoo, and we've seen some shenanigans in our time.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know who this is? And I point to Slokta.
What?
I said, do you know who this is? And Tag points to Slokta.
She's not there.
No, she is. Bryn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. She's Slokta, the Insidious, the patron saint of all Blight summoners. I'm the summoner of this planet, and this is my place. I don't have to answer to any of you. Slokta.
You invited
Off
us.
with their heads.
You invited us over for dinner and then just spooked off into Ghost Town.
When you say that, he kind of grabs his head for a moment and says, Oh, right. Oh. None of you look exactly the same as you did before. Because when you first met him, you were all in your amulet.
Right.
But he says, it's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me.
Oh.
Right, I hired that cowardly wizard to lure you down here. Did that work? Where am I? He just seems to be very confused. And he says, look, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm in the middle of some very important stuff, and I don't want to have to be answering to anybody else. I'm the summoner of this planet. The summoner of this planet.
Sir, we know. We obviously, Slokta's here. We went through all the same tests. We got the, gateway to immortality was open and we walked through it. It's not that you popped back, it's that we popped into your realm, and maybe that messed with the sort of shifting of the phase states and is responsible for some of your discombobulation. But what do you think we're giving you lip about? We're here on the same task.
He turns to Bryn, aka Slokta, and says, These fools also completed your task?
They did.
And they're immortal now, too? Like me?
Yes.
All right. My apologies, fellow champions.
Yes?
I'm at a loss for words, I suppose.
Look, here's the sense that I get. You haven't had a great team in the past. You know, all your candidates, I presume, you've hired from within Blight Planet. They haven't been the sharpest tools in the shed. Am I right? So you're not used to delegating. If you want a job done, you've had to get it done yourself. But you've asked for the best. We came, we did the challenges, you know, and so here we are, not to surprise you, but we're here to help, boss. What's the move?
Oh. He looks to Slokta for maybe like a confirmation. Tag roll, manipulate someone. And you're going to get an additional +1 from Slokta, giving you the A-OK.
That is a 12.
Okay, perfect. He says, I think this is wonderful. Slokta, if you're in your physical form, I can only assume that you're... I'm not as old as I used to be. Slokta, if you're in your physical form, I can only assume that you've completed the ritual you set out for. You've returned. And he takes his staff and he kneels and he holds it up to you and says, if you've completed the challenges, you're not here to work for me. We're all here to work for the true summoner of the Blight Planet. Slokta the Insidious, return to us in her final form.
Let's hear it. Slokta the Insidious.
Slokta the Insidious.
You are the
All right. You're making me feel weird.
Bren, it should be noted that you do have all of your gear, including your staff, but you've just been handed KPO's staff. It is called the Leech Life Staff.
Leech light? Does it
Leech Life.
Oh.
And it looks like the one that you saw her wielding in the memory that you fought her. It is a black staff curled around with a serpent-like entity that resembles a leech more than it does a reptile. It has 3 green gems in its head.
What's in this room? What's going on in this room?
This room seems to be what would be the ruins of Slokta's original castle that had over the time turned to ruins and then been built over by summoners afterwards. It is just a large basement that looks like an ancient temple, and there is a big pit next to you.
There's this nagging question in my head, and I don't want to answer it, but ask it, but I don't have a choice, so it tumbles out. And I say, Summoner KPO, there seems to be a sort of block on this planet. I can't really reach out. Do you know what's causing it, and how can I reverse it?
Yes, but you won't need to reverse it, Slokta. I've perfected it. I finally cracked the code. That rift that appeared, and he gestures to the pit in front of you. He says, I've managed to put a filter on it. Those creatures that were coming through and trying to steal our magic, I've reversed it on them using blight energy. And those dark magics that you handed down to all the blight summoners since. And we've put a tap, I'll call it, on there. That reverses that pull. It allows us to access those powers on the other side without exposing ourselves to them. But in order to do so, I've had to seriously modify this planet's energy in a way that, up until recently, was quite dangerous. Perhaps you noticed all those chaotic expulsions of magic? Yes. And as he says that, you're caught by the last few times that you've been in here where there has been some strange things, especially rippling out of this pit. None of that is here. It seems like he's stabilized whatever it was that was shooting chaos magic everywhere. You won't need to destroy it, Slokta. I've prepared it for you. You can use it.
I'm going to walk over and hold his staff over the pit.
You can feel it. None of you are experiencing the effects you did when you first hit Blight and your stats had been reduced. It seems almost like the planet's sterile in the sense of magic. But when you approach the pit, Bryn, and you hold the staff over, you can feel a rift down there. It's just out of sight, but you can see the crackling energy in the darkness near the bottom of the pit. It's there, and it has been affected in some way. You can't know for sure, but what he seems to be telling you is, it seems like the truth. He believes you're Slokta. He doesn't know who the fuck you guys are, but he believes you're Slokta.
Can I'm just incredibly pulled to remove the filter.
Sure, and open the rift?
Yep.
Roll plus magic. Get a +1 from the staff you're holding.
10.
Okay. It's kind of anticlimactic. You don't feel magic, and then all of a sudden, you do. The seal was not something physical. It was a very, very powerful enchantment that is now gone. The moment blight energy returns to this place, all of you are now back to a -1 for all stats, and you feel that drain of the planet. It's nothing. It is expected. It is the planet's effect on those who are inhabiting it, so it's not something new and crazy. You felt it before. But the moment Capio feels that, he screams and he says, "Slokta, no! That was nearly impossible to complete. What are you, crazy? I did that for you! I did that for you!" And in the midst of this, before anyone can move or speak, Capio has fallen to his knees and is crawling towards Bryn, who he believes to be Slokta. And then there's a rumble in the depths of the temple, and reality tears open along the plane of the pit with a spray of black ichor. And we watch as Half-Dad raises out of that tear, floating, his arms outstretched. One of them is holding a glaive. He lands softly on the stone floor, his very presence in this place disintegrating the matter beneath his feet. He tilts his head as though he is about to speak, and then slams his glaive into Capio's chest, lifting him up off the ground so that his feet are dangling above the stone, and a steady stream of blood starts to puddle beneath him. There's a moment of stillness which follows this violence. Half-Dad removes the blade from Capio so that he crumbles to the ground, blood pooling around his unmoving form. "You see," Half-Dad says, breaking the reverie, "I always keep my word."
Half-Dad, we were good, man. We just, take the temperature before you drive a glaive through a summoner's chest, okay?
Right. Yes. Okay. We hadn't really explored contingencies.
Yeah, we didn't iron this out, but is subtlety a part of your vocabulary? Can you comprehend nuance? Or when you're used to devouring entire planetary systems, does this seem pretty nuanced to you by comparison?
I feel like the brain controlling bugs were subtle.
Okay, whatever, man.
How about Varik? He turned all of the Tyne into illusion guards and took complete control of a city without causing a stink. I'd say that was pretty subtle.
Okay, we don't need to fight about how subtle you are in your evil machinations, okay? Point is that this was not the plan.
Look, we made a deal. I kept my end of the bargain. And he extends his hand and he says, I'd like my crown back now, please. There's something different about him that you guys should note before this conversation continues. Every time you've seen him, it's been in some vision, some ethereal sense. This time, after Bryn did whatever she just did to that rift, you're not in the phase state. You're not having a dream. Puck and Sam aren't in the same room. He's just standing there, and the stone beneath him, everything that he's coming into contact with is disintegrating and almost dusting and flying back towards the rift. And as he holds his hand out to you, the very air around it is warping. His presence here seems to be legitimate this time. Yeah, so he asks for his crown.
Why do you want it so bad?
Why do I want my crown back?
Yeah. You seem to be getting along just fine without it. What does it do?
It's a symbol of the rank that I hold, of my leadership.
It's purely symbolic.
Something doesn't need to be purely symbolic to be very symbolic.
Okay, that's going to take me a while to turn over. But yeah, I mean, if it's just symbolic, if it's just for show and all that stuff, then yeah, I'll give it back. I just want to see how it feels first.
Tilt up a little on your screen.
So tall.
And when you put that on, you feel your form, the zipper that you've described before, this tattoo, this glowing tattoo that goes from head to toe back around. You feel it peel open. You are welcome to take your form as the beast, but if you have what you think would be your princely or what you think it would be, it happens the moment the weight settles onto your head.
Let's say that for the sake of maintaining conversation, true form is that beast, but tag is exercise. You know, he's essentially just like when you hold your core muscles together to maintain good posture when you're sitting on something that doesn't have a back. He's just doing that enough for it to remain vaguely humanoid. Although the fire is there, the horns are there, the, you know, just sleek obsidian skin is there.
Yeah. He smiles and says, how does it feel?
I guess it feels kind of dumb.
Elaborate.
What do you mean elaborate? Are you seeing what and Tag just kind of looks into a mirror on the far corner of the hall. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? You want me to elaborate on why this looks dumb?
When you look in the mirror, you see the beast form and you still maintain this attitude, or are you seeing something different in the mirror?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I assumed that in putting on the crown, it would unlock something. I think this is the first time Tag has put it on. And he's not bluffing, but he just, you know, he's like reaching his hand into a magical hat and doesn't know what he's going to pull out, but he hopes that he can weapon, even if that weapon is knowledge.
I think that when you put the crown on, the first sense that you get is a very specific and detailed vision of the rift that is in the pit. You know that it leads to that other place where the malice comes from, and you can feel all of its power there. You can feel the energy that Half-Dad is made out of, and if he were not so powerful himself, you have the impression that you would be able to take that energy and do whatever you wanted with it, almost dismissing his form. But he is rivaling you because of his control, and he is the king of this place. You also feel like you could tap into the energy that's right on the other side of the rift, but you also feel a strong desire to funnel all the magic in this place into that place. It is not overwhelming, but you do feel it. It's like got a craving that you just are holding off. You feel very powerful.
Well, I think I'm hogging the spotlight a little bit here. What's happening with the rest of the party?
What is happening with the rest of the party? You all see Tag wearing the crown. It materializes as he sets it onto his head, and he turns into that beast form that he just used to fight Slakta, though at a slightly more minimal way. Muted. Take it from the top.
Sorry, y'all. I think Rex has just slowly reached for Graflex very, quietly and surreptitiously, because she's very confused by what's going on here and is not sure in this moment who her enemy is because this is the first time we've seen Tag put on the crown. He's now assumed this form out of his own free will, and that's worrisome, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna try to approach Tag slowly and just say, Tag, you can give the crown back. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. And Tag kind of gets the sense that everyone's looking at him a little funny. And it does make him uncomfortable. He sort of has over time just gotten a sense of comfort and familiarity with his friends, on assumption that they know what he's thinking and know what he's feeling. And that felt very safe. But now seeing them look at him and then seeing again himself in the mirror there, he realizes that he is still, especially standing next to Half-Dad, especially wearing his crown, he is still this thing of evil. And that while his intentions was just like, I'm going to wear your stupid hat, Dad, that he realizes that on the outside it looks like he's stepping into this destined form. And I think he's just terribly embarrassed by that. And so he takes off the crown and he just throws it on the ground. Throws it on the ground away from Capio's body. And presumably as Half-Dad goes to pick it up, he just wants to use, I had to look at my character sheet to remember what the hell actual Tag can do. He's going to use his telekinesis, and this pool of blood around Capio's body, he just Tag slightly funnels it so that it starts trickling towards and dripping down into the portal.
Okay. Yeah, all of that works. Half-Dad he gives a look of like, dude, and goes to pick up his crown. And you're able to do this with Capio. Roll, because I believe there is a chance for. I don't have your guys' fucking things up either.
That's a 14 on a natural 12.
Okay.
Wow.
So you can see that Capio is actually starting to disintegrate and turn into a swamp puddle, but you are able to find the mixture of the blood and this swampness. In the way that you saw the bloom sum but you're able to funnel it and start dripping it down into the rift. Do you have anything in mind? I don't want to accidentally bypass an opportunity that you're looking for. Is there a desired result you'd like from this blood dripping down that way?
No, I was kind of just giving you a bit of an offer, a little alley-oop there for you to take as you please. I have some ways that I could take it, but I'm interested in what you do with that move.
Okay. Before I do anything, Half-Dad walks over and he picks up his crown and he puts it on. Is there anything you want? Is there any moment you're looking for, Sam? I don't want to not give you an opportunity.
No, I think he's just observing. This seems to be a family issue, at least for the time being.
Okay. Half-Dad puts the crown on and he says, I'm not surprised to see you give it away. I'm learning more and more about you, Tag.
What is that? You said sorry, was this a test? You wanted the crown.
Yes, I did. I'm just saying, now that you've tried it on, I'm not surprised to see you remove it. Never did I expect you to be tempted by the power. Now that we've had a chance to get to know one another. If anything...
Sorry, I feel like you're saying that you're disappointed that you're not disappointed.
That's pretty weird. Maybe I am.
You see, you are... Oh, my God. Oh... I understand why my previous incarnation had to do, because you're a terrible role model.
All right. Look, first of all, I'm just trying to find your guys' character sheet so I can open it. And I did. Okay? So I'm going to stop being slightly distracted.
Did Trin just text it to you? Is that what was in that chat?
No.
Okay. I got it.
Got it. Thank you, though. Okay. Second of all, out of character, would anybody like to take a move that they may or may not be expected to take? Or would they like more time?
What?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What do you do, friend?
What?
Tag, can I talk to you over here? And I gestured towards the pit.
Yeah, of course. What's up? I walk over to the pit. I think that we are trying to speak privately.
Yeah. You know that I adore you and I would never do anything purposely to hurt you, right?
One, yes. Two, this has made me nervous as an opener to a conversation.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just when someone prefaces saying something by saying, you know, I would never do anything to on purpose hurt you, it kind of makes that person feel like they're going to be hurt.
It might not hurt. I'm not sure. And I grab Tag around the waist and I throw us both into the pit.
Okay. Tag, I will give you the opportunity to intercede if you'd like to.
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
Tag is completely taken off guard.
Okay. Half-Dad does not even turn, but there is a definite ripple in the magic of this planet when they pass through into the rift. He extends his hand to Sam, and in it there is what looks like an Eric's, except it is a Malice Eric's. We haven't talked about these for a long time. They're the crystallized form of magic. You've come across something similar that the professor made from one of these creatures. This is a pure version. It is not unstable like those others. And he says to Sam, your summoner's debt is repaid. I believe that with this item, she will be able to perform whatever rituals she desires to cleanse herself of vampirism or that.
Yeah, the thing, the makeover. Yeah.
Yeah. And he hands you the Malice Eric's.
Oh, it's real decent of you.
That's very generous.
I take it. I go. I don't agree with your policies on destroying our universe, but or our reality. I feel like that's a little misguided.
I'm not going to lie. I think we are entering into an interesting time. And with that, he turns away from you and walks back to the rift and stops at the edge of the pit. He looks like he's going to say something, but then he just hops in and disappears. The rift remains open. Nothing else comes out of it. In the rift, Bryn and Tag, you find yourselves falling through this very dark place. Tag is no longer in his human form. He is full-on beast. Bryn, you are in your phase state form, kind of a shining golden image of yourself. The two of you fall through the air and splash down into a large pool of ichor. Nothing bad happens.
I'm in what form?
Your beast form. Your true Tag form. You fall into this ichor. Nothing bad happens. It just feels kind of warm, and if you weren't so experienced with it, it would be pleasant.
Tag, I'm sorry. I had to do it. Your dad put a curse or a hypnosis on me that I had to push you through, but I wasn't going to let you go by yourself. So I made us both go, and it'll be an adventure or something.
Wait, this was Dad's doing?
Yeah.
Fuck, Bryn, I thought that you had some secret plan.
No, I don't have any kind of plan. I just want to get out of this planet.
Into a portal into the malice? Because he made you
do it.
I was on. Well, fuck, Bryn, what? Now, how long have you known about this?
Like 24 hours, 12 hours.
Okay, so you've had 12 to 24 hours to think about what was going to happen.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I tried to fight it. I can't fight it. He did some weird hypnosis like I do on people when I'm a vampire. Now I know how Sam felt, and I feel real shitty.
I understand.
Bryn, you actually do feel like a magical lock has been released. There's no longer the weight. It was some kind of powerful spell. It is now gone.
What did you give? What did he give you in return?
Nothing. He just made me do it.
I hate my father.
Yeah, I do too.
As you say that, Tag, the first sensation you have as this rage kind of boils up in you is the desire to destroy things. And in tapping into the magic of this place that would let you do it, you are immediately confronted with a very strange sensation. It is an opposite force balancing that scale that is not letting you just absorb all of the magic easily. There's a pull on this place that was not here the last time you were. And with that realization, Half-Dad lowers down onto the ground outside this pool of ichor and takes off his cloak and steps gingerly into this ichor hot spring and settles down into a seated position and says, "Didn't expect you to be here, Bryn."
There was no way I was going to throw him in without me.
Fair, and I can see how this relationship would be meaningful. I just wanted to check in with you, Tag. Just touch base. See how you're feeling.
Really? Because it seems like we were having a conversation in which you could have inquired about my feelings, but instead you tricked or manipulated or forced my friend to betray me and throw me into a pit, and now we're here, and now it feels like you probably wanted a little more than just to check in about my feelings. By the way, I feel shitty. Thanks for checking in.
That's fair. All of that is fair. When I originally cursed Bryn, I had far more devious plans for this little visit. Unfortunately, things are changing rather quickly. Do you feel that? And even though his gesture is vague, it's an obvious indication of that opposite pull that you feel here.
Yeah. The belly button tug.
Yes. Quite unpleasant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yeah.
We've been doing some research, and we've made some rather unfortunate discoveries. That feeling that you have is an attempt by the faction you refer to as the company to harvest the energy of this place. And they, so far, have been successful.
Let me just stop you right there. Before you think about disguising this as some sort of benevolent act, that is what you do, Dad. You harvest the energy from places. It's like now you're Office Depot and suddenly an Office Max is built down the block and you're all pissy about it?
It feels better to punch somebody in the face than to get punched in the face. Am I right?
Yes. And Tag kind of like...
Not going to strike you. We're the ones who are getting punched in the face now, and I don't like it.
Sorry, the company is using Blight to suck energy from Malice?
They're not using Blight. KPO was... look, I don't even want to get into what KPO was doing. That was some freaky necromancy, okay? It is unrelated to what is happening on Blight. But it will probably be related to what is happening on your next mission. So look. The research we've been doing isn't into that. We've opened rifts on multiple planets and are using them to siphon energy. We opened the door. The company, after so long, has found a way to capitalize on that. That was an unforeseen consequence. If you hadn't been slowing us down this whole time, we might have beat them to it. But they've been experimenting with rifts for a long time. They just figured it out.
Okay. I guess they put more into R&D than you guys did.
Yeah, that is one way to put it. Look, the reason I have you here is that it would seem that we can't exactly withdraw our investment in you. Your destiny, as we have referred to it thus far, is quite literally an endowment of an ancient piece of our arsenal. Without it, we will be unable to stop the company. I do not know, nor do I care what consequence that will have on your side of the portal. I am only interested in saving what we have.
Which is to suck the energy from planets.
I've had more time to think about this campaign than I expected. A lot of that is because of you. We might have found a solution. To both of our problems.
Look, I just want to give you the opportunity to cut to the chase if what you're struggling with is trying to dance around some linguistic flourishes that might make you seem like the good guy in this. What do you want, Dad? I owe you a favor. If you want to cash in on it, just cash in on it. Stop beating around the bush.
Look, I do not in any sense of the word expect to be the good guy in all of this, nor do I care about the way that you classify whatever morality you've chosen for yourself. We are two very different entities and will remain so. I see that now more clearly than I was able to before. And while you have realized and harnessed
Earth for 1 second, you are speaking in such highfalutin terms that span existence and the universe. And do you know why? All I want is a fucking therapist to talk to sometimes, because you won't just look at me like your kid or half kid and just be straight up and honest with me. You're running circles around my head and my heart and my stomach, and it's fucking tough. I'd probably do some evil shit for you if you were just like, hey man, here's some evil shit. I'd like you to do it. Because at least it would be clear. At least I would understand what the relationship is. It's frustrating. It makes me feel nuts. It makes me feel like I'm crazy. You haven't been there, and then you show up, and I'm trying to start defining a relationship, but it's so intangible. You wouldn't take responsibility for me as a kid. You're not taking responsibility for just being straight with me now. Just throw me a frickin' vine here as I'm sinking into this quicksand. And
Okay.
This is all audible, by the way. So this is Bryn can hear all of this.
Okay. Okay. Look. The solution we found is a gate. It exists on Silva Celesso. But the gate is locked. The key that we need to open it is on Void. Unfortunately, our progress on Void has been slowed. That is where the company has managed to hold us off and reverse our technology. If you could assist me in retrieving that key, we will grant you safe passage to Void and refrain from interfering with your mission. The gate will allow us to separate our weapon from your possession. You will get your wish. You will be free. You will be tagged.
The gate will allow us to separate our weapon from your possession?
Yes.
You're saying I go to Void, I get this key, I take it to Silva Celesso, I unlock a gate, and I am what? Freed from my destiny.
You will just be tagged. No strings attached other than the obvious emotional scars.
Well, those are not new.
Wait, you open this gate and you eat the continuum?
No.
You're essentially giving me the freedom to go fight you on my own. Because that's still your plan, even without me. You're still going to eat some universes, and I'm going to have to make a choice of whether or not I want to be involved in that. You're giving me the freedom to make that choice.
Yes. We will not pursue our agenda if you agree to this deal. We will enter into what we can refer to as a ceasefire.
You will not pursue your agenda of the world leading? What's your new plan? Are you guys going to open like a little corner market and sell organic produce?
No. We are restructuring right now.
Okay.
Our quarrel is with the Continuum, an entity who it would be difficult for me to describe in terms you would understand while locked into this consciousness. We realize going about it in a way that affected every planet might have been unfair. That's a word you can appreciate to the people who live on them. We will hold where we are. You can have Blight, okay? Bravo, you completed it. We don't want anything to do with Blight magic. It is disgusting. It nearly destroyed us. KPO, single-handedly, is doing or tried to do what the entirety of the company has been trying to do this entire time. KPO did it by himself in a fucking basement, using nothing more than his inherent abilities. You can have Blight. Rift will be closed as soon as I send you back. We still have an opening on Void, which we unfortunately are no longer in control of, and one final holding on Lightning. which we will leave open, but discontinue the siphoning of energy on. We will enter into a ceasefire until you complete your task. And then we will discuss what happens afterwards, if you are successful.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it, but I hope you understand, can't tell you in this moment that I'm going to do it. I am loyal to my friends. And I'm not going to enlist them on this devil's errand without their explicit, enthusiastic consent. I hope you understand, Dad, that I'm having a little bit of a hard time believing that the malice is undergoing some sort of corporate restructuring, a strategic pivot of their business plan away from devouring worlds and into whatever it is that you guys are doing next. I'm less inclined to believe that that is truly some sort of I'm disinclined to believe that that is without harm. So you've given me something that I want, obviously. I guess I'm just saying I'm not a total idiot. And I know that if we do this, we give you this, we're giving you a weapon. And I don't know how big. And it's going to be a weapon that we are very likely going to be fighting against as soon as immediately afterwards.
The malice is one. We take the form of many because it suits our purpose, but we are one, and you are one of us. And all of your thoughts on this matter, and all of your desires and fears, regrets, hopes, everything, they are ours too. And while I am doing my best to resist, we are one. I will not lie to you. If the weapon is removed, that sway that you have will be removed as well. But this is not a backwards deal, Tag. I want exactly what I've told you. I've hidden nothing.
Okay.
I do not know where we will end up, but I do know that you could allow the company to defeat us. But then they would have our power.
Okay, I hear you, and I will convey this message to my friends.
I would expect nothing less. This is not a demand. We are coming to you hat in hand and offering you a truce, even if it is only temporary. We have no cards to play.
Will you tell me something honest?
Yes.
What's really behind the crown?
It is a way to separate myself from... It is a way to become an individual.
Well, I don't know about the rest, but that sounds like it might be the most honest thing you said tonight. And strikingly, the most human. I look to Bryn. What do you think?
I think he brings up a valid concern over the company. I mean, has he blatantly lied? I don't know that I've witnessed that.
Yeah, I think that lies take many forms. One of them is not telling the truth. The
Yes.
other is saying something that you know will hurt someone, as if it wouldn't.
I think we bring this information back to our team and we talk about it as a team. And I look at Half Dad and I say, I would give anything for a relationship with my father. Don't you dare hurt Tag.
I fear that I have already in a way that I will not be able to reconcile, and it is why I am willing to set him free.
I look at Tag and I say, you are an individual. You are. I've seen it. You're different. Yes, you have some of the malice, but you've got your own person and your own thing going on that's super unique. Don't let him get inside your head and make you think you're just a cog of some greater purpose that has no free will, because you do.
We'll see.
If there's nothing more you wish to discuss with me, I can return you to your friends as soon as you're ready.
Let's go.
Casey, do you have an idea?
I would like to do a little cutaway to me and Rex.
Please do.
Okay. So I think at this, after some amount of time there, Rex and Sam have moved over to the edge of the rift, and Sam has like a little bag of peanuts, and it's like, so Rex, should we also jump in? It offers her some.
And I'm like rigging up an elaborate rope system because I no longer possess any magical powers, and so have to rely solely on physical objects. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
And
She seemed like she had an idea, but I don't know. I can't talk in my head like they do. I don't know if they had a plan. And I'm pulling things together and, like, you know, tying scarves and loose string together to try and make this rope as long as possible. And while I'm doing all of this, I'm like, I've been meaning to ask you this for a long time. I mean, not that long, probably like the last half hour or so. But how on earth did you have it in you to forgive Slokta? That woman was evil, pure evil.
Okay, you bring up a lot of good points. First, I agree. I do think Brynn had a plan. She was very decisive in that suplex into that portal. It definitely took me by surprise. Two, I empathize with you about no longer having magic powers. I too no longer have magic powers, and suddenly I realized we've been getting like hoodwinked this whole time. Both of the people we hang out with have magic powers. They didn't tell me how fun that was. That was amazing. That was great. That's just like the best. Here you, like, I'm trying to use my brain and like some snarky attitude, and you've got all this might and, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, your butt kicking is cool, but
Very strong.
you're very strong, you know, and you have great taste in pets. And it's like, but still, like lifting stuff with your mind or like blowing stuff up, like that's awesome.
Feeling connected to every part of the universe all at once? That was amazing.
Seriously, of course they jump through the portal. They're like, well, we still got magic. We have magic there. We got magic here. Whatever. We just do whatever we want. You know, I'm not jealous. I'm just, you know, pointing out some facts. And, you know, yeah. I think you had a third point that has escaped me and how flustered I got in agreeing with you about our lack of magic powers.
How would you forgive Slokta?
Oh, right. You know, here's the crazy thing about it. Slokta is the second most difficult person I've ever had to forgive.
Who was the first?
And I gotta say, I never thought it would take getting turned into a wizard in like the memory of a necromancer on a planet that I thought would be just the worst experience of my life. And for the first time, it felt useful and happy and connected to you guys in like this weird way. And I don't know, just somewhere along that adventure, I feel like the burden of hating myself fell off for the first time without needing to drink it away. So, in a village of gingerbread people after a bank heist, after being an old man in an air duct, forgiving Slakta, I don't know. That just seemed like the thing to do. Plus, I mean, man, that Aurora Borealis was just.
And I sit down next to him and I kind of dangle my legs over the edge of the pit. Kind of tickles.
Yeah, and as you guys sit there eating your peanuts, having this conversation, towards the end of it, you do hear something from the rift, and you see Tag and Bryn, both in the monster and golden summoner form, rising towards the rift, and as they pass through, they are returned to their regular selves and set lightly on the stone. And just like that, the rift closes. And you can feel as this oppressive force is released from the planet.
And with a mouthful of peanuts, I say, I was totally going to go in after you guys. And we were a little worried over.
We were just strategizing. But you guys did it. You were successful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Peanut?
Yeah.
Peanut.
I try to crack one with my vampire too.
Oh, Bryn, I have something for you. And I hold up the Eric's.
An Eric's?
This was given to me by he who shall not be named, but as part of his promise, he said this would cure you not only of looking like Slakta, but also remove your vampirism.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I mean, if we trust him.
He said, I mean, I think he's a man of his word. We may not like him, but I think, yeah.
I look at Tag and do you think it could work?
What are you looking at me for? You trusted him enough to choke slam me down a pit into his living room?
I didn't trust him at all. That's why I went with you.
That makes it much worse if you didn't trust him.
Why would I trust him?
Why would you throw me down the pit?
I had to. He put a magical curse on me.
All right, I don't know how that works, but I am not angry. I know that if it was powerful enough to make you do that, then it would have been pretty powerful magic because I know that that's not you. So I'm sorry if I was being a jerk about it. I like to get emotionally ready before I'm going to have big confrontations with him, and it just caught me off guard, and I just never feel like I say what I want to say, and we're coming back out of the pit. I come up with all these cool comebacks, and they're like really witty, and they really express the kind of resentment and also yearning for connection that I've always felt, but I just never say it in the moment. I always feel like I sound dumb.
I understand that happens with my mom all the time. Welcome to being a kid.
Yeah, parents suck.
Parents are the worst. Well, I guess things can't get any worse, so let's try
it. Bryn reaches out to grab the Malice Eric's, and the moment she touches it, it looks as if her skin is yanked off of her and pulled into the Eric's. But underneath, you see the regular old Bryn. In the shock, Bryn, you let go of the Eric's and it tumbles to the ground and cracks. But you can see that once it had swallowed that magic, it had crystallized in some way that had made it inert. And it is now just a black marble that is cracked down the middle, sitting on the ground. You are no longer a vampire or Slakta.
I just look at my friends and say,
Ah! Slakta! Jokes for you.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I fish out my flask and I let her look at her reflection.
And I say, the great thing about being myself again is I don't feel bad about laughing at that prank.
Don't worry, you look much better than you do in the stainless steel.
Okay, and I feel there's no teeth. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can eat real food now.
Tina?
Yes.
I think Tag's probably got like a cut on him somewhere, and he's just gonna kind of hold it up to her.
Ew, gross. I don't want it. Okay.
You don't want it. Good, good. Tag's gonna pocket those two little those little pebbles.
Sure. You may have them. Is there anything else you want to do in the basement of this place?
Are we gonna have time on Haven to do anything? Because if not, I'll do it here.
Yes, I imagine there will be a good portion of next session that will happen on Haven. There are things that need to be addressed. Oh, yeah. I think so. I think we got enough time for a scene.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do on Blight?
I'm just gonna turn to Bryn and I say, "Do we need to do something about that?" And I point at KPO's body.
It is just like swamp now.
His body's a swamp in a basement. I guess I can try to use some magic on it and gather what I can. And I look around and I find an empty jar. And I'm like, we can put it in the jar and then find some.
Ghost Market is still right there. All of the items seem to be like, it's like they went back in time and turned to dust, but there is like empty potion flasks and all of the items that you would have been using in these things. There are potion flasks.
Yeah, I'll just grab a flask and try to get as much of him into a flask, and
it's soupy.
And then I'll etch the flask to say "Curmudgeon-y old bastard," and on the back, but maybe with an okay heart.
Probably not. Are you keeping that?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Sure, why not?
Okay. It will count as a powerful magical item. It is the remains of a summoner. It's like getting dragon bone, you know? Like, it just has properties that are very powerful.
Okay. Yes, bring the summoner back. Okay.
So you have a vial of liquefied KPO.
Mm-hmm.
KPO soup.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know what the fuck is going on this planet and who's stealing magic from who and what is KPO and what is Slocta and what is my dad and what is the company. But I do feel pretty confident that the people who live here are trapped in a terrible system of economic oppression. And as he's saying this, he's kind of rifling around the ghost booth, hoping to see if that gold is still there.
It
for
is.
a
All
massive.
of the gold is.
Great. Look, if you want to take it and whatever's left over, we're making it rain all over the Blight planet.
I definitely think we redistribute it to the planet, and I don't know who's left that can help run it, but maybe we can find Perf.
On your way out of the mansion, you do find Perf. He is very pleased to see you, and he gladly takes the gold with a mischievous look in his eye. That's not too mischievous, and agrees to take it down into the village and distribute it.
What? Oh, I punch him for sure.
He takes it like a wimp.
Okay.
And then I back up and instruct him also to delegate the house to any people who are currently transitory or in need of shelter, because the manor is no longer solely owned.
Yeah. It is haunted, so they will need to do some stuff, but You can leave knowing that these things are going to happen on Blight. You've freed the planet, and so the wealth will be distributed to the village. The mansion will return to public hands, and they will begin to rebuild from out underneath Capio. That will probably be a difficult process because life on Blight, even in the best of times, is a difficult life to lead. Simply because of the magical properties of the planet. But there is no longer a necromancer summoner being whispered, having his ear whispered in by the ghost of an even worse necromancer summoner. So they are in a relatively decent spot. And with the gold, they will be able to make some progress. It was a lot of gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look,
Yes.
I'm definitely pocketing some for my trouble.
Take as much as you want.
Is there
You
any...
guys know that Bryn's like royalty rich, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
more
a
like-
company executive. Like,
That's like a no limit credit card that you have billed to an expense account as your badge, Rex.
yeah.
Why have we not been fucking treating ourselves this whole time?
Well,
Treating ourselves to what?
yeah, there's nothing here.
There are unlimited croissants, Rex.
You can have unlimited croissants.
I can? This is the best mission we've ever accomplished.
So I think you guys spend about half a day just seeing to these things. There's no trouble. You don't get any pushback. And the village seems to be of the community mindset that they're going to accept these gifts and make good use of them. So just sleep easy about Blight for now.
Tag definitely goes, like, this was a revelatory moment for Tag, realizing that he had sort of peripheral access to this wealth. And so he's just going over to all artisanal stalls and just buying a bunch of different woven baskets, crafts. I don't think they have croissants on Blight Planet, but just little, like, swamp fudge trickle tarts, just like stacking them. And they're not that good, but he'll just eat one and be like, not many of these as I want.
You can have
like
any
souvenir
items you want.
keychains with a T on them. You know, he's just buying bullshit everywhere.
During this time, you also signal a ride home. And when you do make it back to the town square, Tag meets you guys. He has it's one of those things where he's got like 12 shopping bags in each hand and is also trying to like hold on to something else.
Everybody's got a commemorative glass. Everyone's got a keychain with their initial on it. I got temporary tattoos of different zoo animals for all of us. I went all out. We've all got a chia pet to put in our room on the ship.
When you make it back to the town square, you find a familiar dropship waiting for you. It is one of Haven's taxis. And sitting in the mud at the foot of the boarding ramp are 5 red-wrapped packages.
Oh my God.
And their tag reads, "To my heroes from Mrs. Klaus."
Oh, I hope it's Givenchy.
So, last session, Merc got the rest of the presents for you. You guys tear into them, and we're going to just tell you what items you have. I encourage you to continue to use these items. Okay? The final presents you get. Tag. Excitedly, you drop all of the things you've just bought and run over and open, grab a gift and tear into it. Inside, you find a lump of coal. It can burn for 1 hour to give you warmth, and it makes your hands all sooty.
It goes with your binocular eyes.
What was the first part?
It can burn for an hour to give you warmth, or it makes your hands all sooty.
Cool. Tag is
But you are struck by the box that it came in. It is an empty box now that you've removed the coal. There appears to be nothing inside the box, but once you look into it, you're struck with the grim foreboding that you've just unleashed some unspeakable evil into the world.
What? Magazine is not excited anymore about the coal.
Okay.
Should I just put unspeakable evil on my item list?
Just put empty box.
Okay.
In parentheses, previously contained unspeakable evil. Rex, you rip into a package to find the Ring of Cassandra. It is a silver ring with a purple stone in an ornate setting. And it appears on your hand because you were the first person who touched it. This is not fucked up. Just remind me about it, okay? Everybody who sees the ring appear on Rex's finger gets the sense that she may be a prophet.
A prophet?
Rex may be a prophet?
You get the impression that Rex can now see into a part of the future that is hidden from mortal eyes. Rex, please write down Ring of Cassandra. This thing's weird. Merc is so weird in a good way.
Wait, but does that mean that no one believes me?
Yes.
No!
Yes, it does. That is the part I was omitting for now, but yes, it does. You will be able to tell the future, but no one will believe you. You will have a role associated with that. It'll be like you can use it in place of trust your gut. That is your move, right? You can use the Ring of Cassandra in place of trust your gut to see the future when you'd like to. Okay. Sam, you rip into a box and open the lid to find a small plush wolf. It looks adorable. And you get the feeling that while it's in the box, you're probably cool. Bryn, you open it up to find an elf on the shelf.
Oh no.
It looks like a small red-clad elf and will bind itself to you because you're the person who opened it. Until this curse is lifted, it will always be near you, on a shelf, on a tree branch, tucked into a bush. It will always be within 20 feet of you, watching.
Creepy.
And those are the final Christmas presents, courtesy of Merc.
I thought you said there were 5.
The coal and the empty box were 2 different ones.
Oh.
All right. You're able to climb right back onto the shuttle after you tear through your gifts and pocket them. Sam, just write down all the plushie dolls that you have and let me know if you handle them as Sam barehanded.
Oh, don't worry.
For absolutely no reason.
I got planned for these tchotchkes. Don't worry.
Okay. You climb back onto the dropship, and it takes off, leaving Blight in the rearview mirror. You see as the swamps fade away behind you and turn into a large acid green planet in the background. And then you are flying towards Haven. The ship docks, no problem, and there is no one waiting for you in the hangar bay, which is not unsurprising because the staff of Haven has been cut down to like 4 people. That's an exaggeration. There's probably like 6, but it used to be a full crew. They have all been dismissed and replaced. You are now on Haven. I have some things in mind. We probably will not get to them this evening, but I believe Bryn has one scene that she would like us to go out on before we call it and start on Haven next time.
Okay. So after I get changed, thank God, and cleaned up, I go and I knock on Sam's door.
Hey, I open the door. Bryn.
Hi.
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 Hi. Welcome back. It's good to see your face.
Right? It's good to feel my face. And the no teeth.
Yeah.
Really nice. Biting my lip like every 2 seconds. It sucked.
Yeah. Your regular chopper is much better.
No. Do you have a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to come in?
Sure.
Yeah, come on in. Can I offer you some sparkling water?
Yes. I love sparkling.
Yeah, I always crack off the top of like a San Pellegrino or something like that. Pour a couple of glasses. I've never really tried non-alcoholic beverages before that much, and I gotta say, really nice.
Especially the ones with the kick.
Yeah, this one bubbles just like woo. It's like a fiesta in water form.
Yeah.
Taste bud.
Mouth.
Yeah. So what can I do for you?
Okay. Now that I'm not a vampire anymore, I wanted to say a couple things. I want to apologize for hypnotizing you. I'm so mortified that I did that. It's such a violation. I can't even begin to explain why I did it or how I did it or what the vampirism did to me. Just know that I'm sorry. And I wanted to offer a truce that you can ask me to do one thing and I'll do it within my power.
Okay, well, first off, I absolutely accept your apology. And I'm so sorry that you got cursed with vampirism. And I don't hold your mesmeric effect upon me against you. Like, I totally understand that in this line of work with space aliens and undersea monsters and, all sorts of weirdness, like, I absolutely don't think, I just think the world of you. So,
well, I did not dislike hearing you talk about what you loved about Puck. So I also kind of feel bad about that.
Oh yeah, I think that's probably what really irked me. In fact, now that you remind me of that, it does sting a little bit to admit that that big old grapefruit just has finally rubbed off on me completely.
Yes, but I need to make this right. So just tell me something to do, and I'll do it.
Great, make me your apprentice. I got a taste of the magic. You said anything, so that's what I'm asking for. Teach me the ways of the old wiggly fingers.
Bryn, roll weird or whatever the fuck these old stats are, please.
Plus magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10.
Okay. The idea seems silly to you at first because you've never known anybody who's not in the summoner line to be able to use magic. But as you unconsciously open up your magical feelers and kind of click over to the phase state, you get the definite impression that because Puck is a part of Sam, that raw void energy is also at his disposal.
Okay.
And there is perhaps an opportunity here for you to teach some magic.
Okay, I think because you're tied to Puck, there's something we can work with there. Do you have a specific spell you would like to learn?
This isn't just the San Pellegrino talking, is it?
I mean, it is making me feel like a little saucy, but...
All right. That's a good question. I guess before I start trying to learn something specific, I don't know. I've always been so like poo-poo on all the magic stuff, and maybe I could just like be.
I have an idea. Here, we'll just do this. And then I keep looking up to the left, and on his shelf is that goddamn elf. And I keep looking at him, and I look at the elf, and I'm like, can I use one of your pillows?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I take it and I place it in front of the elf so it stops staring at me.
Do I see?
Huh?
Does Sam see the elf?
You could see the elf, yeah.
Yep. Did you? Is he with you?
Yeah, apparently he's with me until I can break whatever curse this is because I just love to be cursed.
Oh.
So don't mind him. I guess we'll just start. The biggest thing that I can have you do is pull out your hand. Okay. Now magic is like an energy. It's like an energy that's always there, right? Most people can't see it and they can't tap into it, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's like the wind. You can't see the wind, but you can see the effects of wind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So magic is like that. So what I can start teaching you to do is focus on your hand and try and see the energy that's above it, that's flowing over it. Can you see it?
For a moment, Sam tries to look with his eyes, and now Sam is going to try to look with not his eyes.
Oh!
Whoa!
So here's what I'll say. I'll say that this apprenticeship does not need to be resolved right now. I'm going to have you guys level up your characters based on your success on Blight. I have a system in mind. If Bryn is going to take Sam under her wing and start to teach him magic, we can funnel those points into Sam's character to begin to build a magical element to him. But I will expect there to be, and I imagine there already will be, a narrative through line to this. As Casey, I will allow you to self-regulate your powers as you begin to learn and unlock more things. But you will be able to do things like use some of the points you accumulate from this system I'll teach you next time from Blight to give yourself a better weird stat, et cetera, et cetera. I also might just have us use the names that we were using on Blight and change some shit. I'll figure that out in the meantime. Anyways, after you get a sense of a little bit of sparkly purple magic above your palm, there is an announcement that comes over the loudspeakers, and a familiar voice greets your ears. It is Captain Matt Vansel, and he says, "Sorry I couldn't meet you on the deck, space travelers, but if you wouldn't mind reporting to the bridge, I've got some news."
What is it? Sam says instinctively.
Hey, Sam. Nice to hear from you. I'll just tell you on the bridge.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And as you all meet up in the little hallway outside your quarters and head up to the bridge, you can see that some of both the navigation and communications people are leaving, and they nod to you, give you a big like, "Hey, you did it! You saved Blight! Thumbs up!" And you walk into the bridge, and Captain Matt Vansel says, "Hey, really great to see you." CNAC 88 kind of turns around from one of the consoles that's there, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" And Captain Matt Vansel says, "All right, great, you did really well. Unfortunately, something followed you back from the planet and is now on the ship."
Yeah, I know it's an elf.
Yeah, it's just the elf.
He looks over at the elf and sees it and says, "That might be it. What we picked up was an energy signature similar to the disruption on Blight when we were able to break through that bubble and communicate with you. It kind of read like that, and then once you boarded the ship, it flared up and then disappeared. So,
wow.
Happy to see ya. There's an unknown magical intruder on board. Blackout."
Oh man, not
I
even.
think I'm just gonna let you have an episode on Haven next time where you can just lounge around and take your time. No, there's also going to be an element of danger.
Oh my goodness! Yay! We finished Blight.
Yeah. Good job, everybody. And am I correct that this is the last day of Christmas that we finished our Blight Christmas arc on?
Started on Halloween, ended with the holidays.
Yep.
Very nice.
It is January 6th, right? Not January 5th?
January 6th.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And we made it alive. We're all still in one piece. Kind of.
Not always a guarantee.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we don't have a question. Words. We don't have a question from chat that I can remember picking up, but I have a question. I want to know, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Easy. Paleontologist.
Whoa.
Yes.
House painter.
I wanted to be professional skateboarder.
Yes. I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh.
No wonder we're such good friends.
I know.
I guess. That's funny. I haven't thought about this forever. Like maybe like a comedian. Like I'm trying to think back to like 6 or like 8-year-old me. Like I didn't really ever have like I'm gonna grow up and be a this. I think I guess I'd say comedian maybe. Yeah.
Super fun.
Wow.
Always interesting.
You guys had real jobs. That's cool. You guys were driven little kids.
Yeah, definitely professional skateboarder, real job.
That's rad. Do you know how rad that is? Can you ollie?
Dude, I could do some shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I could skateboard. I used to skateboard a lot.
Could you kickflip?
Yes, I could kickflip.
What? Don't say it like every
a street.
I could
or were
pretty
you like
consistently.
Ramp, or what was your
double kickflip?
You could double kickflip. Nice.
Pretty consistently.
That seems
Did
like
you
a
ride
big
rails?
deal.
Did I what?
Ride rails?
No, I was just starting to flirt with that idea on very short handrails. Like we're talking a 2-stair with a handrail, so you could just kind of like the equivalent of looking at it, like as a grind. And then that was about the time that I stopped. But no, I was not super good, but I could do stuff. I had skateboarded for like years, so I could do stuff. I should have been better than I was.
Why were you not better? Just because you were just doing it casually, or?
No, I think it's one of those things where you like get better at stuff the more you hang out with people that are better than you. And where I lived in Brighton, there just wasn't very many people around in general. So once towards the end, I started hanging out with people who were from Boulder, where my dad lived, and I was just going around and like I thought I was pretty good at skateboarding until I started hanging out with these people, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do anything. But I started to get better, like at an accelerated rate while I was hanging out with these people. I think it was just like a community thing. Like if there had been more people hanging out with me, I would have gotten better.
Absolutely. Having peers that are at your level or above is just the best way to learn. Like, it's just such a great way to accelerate progress.
Did your skateboarding ever translate into snowboarding?
No, that would be old Houndskeeper there.
Connor, you snowboarded? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I did too. Are you?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mom. Jesse and I were not buddies, but I also spent my early youth in Colorado, and my mom. My mom was a ski bum.
That's awesome.
She taught me at a wee age.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, it's getting late. Wrap this up. Just want to say thank you to Mark Thomason for running our tech. Thank God he's back.
Thank God he's back.
So much. Love it. Thank you to Mark Workey, our mod, and some new fiction dropped about Sly and Horace that just made my little heart happy. So you should definitely read it in the Discord. So thank you, Mark. And thank you to Aaron Newman for our
Thanks for the
intro.
presents.
Oh, wait, what?
Just the presents she sent us in game.
Oh, yes.
And in real life.
Yes, all the presents. Yes, and the card, which I still have up. And okay, Aaron Buman for our intro and our graphics and our music. Thank you so much. To our donations that came in today from Rob and Thing, I believe. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you to the viewers. We wouldn't be able to, we need you to tell our story online. So thank you so much for playing along with us. We've got, I think, Zoe game night tomorrow night, I believe, at 6. Oh, next week. With Trin. Trin's going to be on it. Definitely watch it. And then I believe we'll be back next week with some adventures on Haven. Is that a question, Connor?
Oh.
No.
I don't know. I would have assumed we were not playing next week.
Oh.
I think we should maybe we'll fucking figure it out. We may or may not be playing next week.
We'll let you know.
You guys know.
The people who are watching the end of this stream right now, I think, are connected to our Discord and Twitter and other things. So you will.
Yeah.
We'll.
Yes, we'll let you know. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.
See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Weird time. We're happy to have this little bit of a reprieve with you.
Yes. Monday slot. Oh wait, hold on. New show. We've got a new show on Monday. The Reliables is starting up. Yes, that's with I think Christian. I don't know who else is in it. But the new show Monday, The Reliables, 6 p.m. here. Okay. Bye.